Things just keep getting worse for Justin Trudeau's failing campaign. Trudeau's poll numbers are seriously slipping this week. Even some mainstream media outlets are finally admitting that Trudeau and his Liberal Party's wedge issues during the campaign may have backfired. Of course, this is following news at the end of last week that Trudeau was forced to cancel one of his own campaign rallies over safety concerns. This was due to a large number of protesters. Specifically, Trudeau is losing major support among women and millennials. Angus Reid cites a recent poll which highlights that Trudeau now is the most unfavorably viewed major party leader in the country. Not surprisingly, most mainstream media outlets in Canada are still trying to prop up and defend Trudeau, attacking his political opponents instead of asking him any real questions. This is to be expected for those who have been following. Of course, leading into this election, Trudeau handed out hundreds of millions of dollars in taxpayer money to failing mainstream news outlets. Strange that the mainstream media, it seems, forgot to ask Trudeau exactly what he meant with this quote. It's been shared a lot on social media since his campaign stop in Cambridge, Ontario.
This fall, by Canada's government. And what we learned from this COVID crisis, we will be applying to the climate crisis, to the housing crisis, to reconciliation, to making sure that everyone has good jobs and careers.
Instead of asking Trudeau an actual question, the first mainstream media reporter that Trudeau called on decided to attack voters and smear Canadians that were there to protest Trudeau.
Question, starting with Glenn McGregor.
Mr. Trudeau, good morning. After your rally was cancelled in Bolton, Ontario, you tried to extend sort of an olive branch to the protesters. You said, like a lot of Canadians, they've had a difficult year. Yesterday, we saw videos emerging from an event earlier in the day on Friday in the same area where adults are yelling at the parents of a child, a little boy, 3 or 4 years old, because he's wearing a mask. I think a lot of Canadians are wondering, are you not coddling this point of view? At what point do you speak out, denounce this as something much darker?
Oh, I have been very, very clear that putting volunteers and supporters at risk is absolutely unacceptable, and that's why we canceled Friday night's event, because we couldn't ensure the safety.
Here's another obvious softball question from Travis Danraj from CBC News, another outlet that is bankrolled by Trudeau's government with Canadian taxpayer money. And once again, instead of asking Trudeau any real questions, Danraj decided to attack Canadians that were there to protest Trudeau.
With Canadians now about how to move forward for everyone.
Question.
Good afternoon, Mr. Trudeau. Travis Danraj, CBC News. I know that you have said that you understand people are upset and that you're not going to back down on your message. I just witnessed a black member of the security detail racially attacked and called a disgusting slur. A female officer was subjected to misogynistic slurs. There were death threats against you hurled in this crowd. So I'm just wondering, what is the bar here in terms of what you'll subject yourself to and your staff to? And what if somebody gets hurt because of all of this?
First of all, I want to take a moment to thank the extraordinary police officers, local and national.
Mainstream Canadian news outlets backed by Trudeau are freaking out over these recent polls. You can see here a screenshot from this recent CBC report showing the Conservatives ahead of the Liberals. Also, they show another category labeled Other ahead of the Green Party. The majority of this other category is made up of the People's Party of Canada, which the mainstream media outlets in Canada attack as a far-right party. They constantly try to smear the People's Party, and you see here they didn't even bother putting a label on them. They simply labeled them as Other, even though they're ahead of the Green Party, which is always propped up by Canadian news outlets. Another new article from Breitbart on this with the headline, Canada's Trudeau losing ground ahead of September election. They opened saying Conservative candidates in Canada's upcoming parliamentary election pulled higher than expected over the weekend to show a slight lead over the Liberal candidates just weeks before the September 20th vote. Canada's Liberal Party Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on August 15th called an early national election for September 20th, 2 years ahead of schedule, in the hopes of getting a renewed majority in Canada's House of Commons and secure a third term in office. A poll of 1,200 respondents conducted by Nanos Research for the Canadian CTV News Network and Canada's Globe and Mail newspaper, released on August 28th, shows Canada's Conservative candidates with a minor edge over their Liberal counterparts among eligible voters. So, quote here from CTV News, it says, in the latest nightly tracking data ending Friday and released Saturday morning, ballot support for the Conservatives sits at 33.3%, while the Liberals are at 30.8% support. The poll showed a decline in support for Trudeau one day after he was forced to cancel a campaign stop in Bolton, Ontario on August 27th due to alleged security concerns attributed to anti-vaccine mandate protesters who gathered near his planned event space ahead of the election rally. Same article continues, pointing out how on August 13th, Trudeau unveiled, quote, one of the world's strictest vaccine policies for transportation. The Wall Street Journal recalled on August 25th, quote, Mr. Trudeau's Liberal government said on August 13th that it would ban people from boarding any plane, train, or cruise ship in Canada unless they were fully vaccinated. The government is also compelling 300,000 federal employees to get shots, as well as employees of airlines and railways.
You deserve better. You deserve a government that's going to continue to say, get vaccinated. And you know what? If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But don't think you can get on a plane or a train besides vaccinated people and put them at risk. We need to be strong in the decisions we're taking going forward, and we need to put people first, which we have always done.
The newspaper also noted that the International Air Transport Association said it was unaware of any country in the world that bans unvaccinated passengers from planes, as Mr. Trudeau is proposing. Please leave a comment and tell me what you think about this latest update. If you could give this video a thumbs up, remember to click the like button, that's greatly appreciated, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. As usual, thank you so much everyone who has supported this channel with your donations over at Patreon or PayPal, and with your super chats as well. It's greatly appreciated. Even just a few dollars makes a huge difference and helps me keep talking about these important issues. You can find either link down in the video description, where you can support this channel directly, patreon.com/realityreader or paypal.me/realityreader. I will follow up soon. Thanks again.